At the solemn moment when Marianne was supposed to say her final goodbye to her husband, she found something unexpected lying beside him in the coffin. A discovery that should have been buried with her husband's secrets stirred the air with whispers as her face turned a ghostly shade of white. Clutched in her trembling hands was something never meant for the world to see. Christopher's funeral was beautiful. Though Marianne dreaded the thought of life without him, she believed that the funeral of today was everything he would have wanted. The eulogies, people, everything seemed to have been perfect. If he had witnessed it, he would have been happy. However, he wouldn't be happy to see what someone had slipped in his coffin. Marianne had no clue when it had happened exactly. She had no clue that it was inside the coffin to begin with. When she had originally bought it, and Christopher's body was placed within, the oaken casket had been completely empty. This could only mean one thing. Someone had to have put it inside of the coffin during the funeral. It could have been almost anybody. She had arranged that at the end of the funeral, everybody would be able to say their final goodbye, as everyone would walk one final time to Christopher, leaving Marianne and her children and grandchildren to be the last remaining ones. This would prove to make finding out who had done it much harder. It also didn't even exclude her close family members from the mystery that now surrounded the casket. Marianne's sons, daughters, and even some grandchildren had all spoken in honor of their late grandfather. She knew that whatever she planned to do, she had to treat it carefully. Whoever had done this probably didn't plan on being found out. No, Marianne thought about why someone would even do something like this. The only thing she could come up with was the fact that they would want this secret to be buried with her husband's passing. It made Marianne angry. How dare they defile his memory and, furthermore, his grave like that? For onlookers, it seemed as if she was just staring at her husband and his casket. The tears had never left her eyes throughout the entire day, but now those tears weren't only from sadness, but also from anger. Both her fists clenched, one around her husband's cold hands and the other around the... A hand suddenly touched her shoulder, startling her from her anger. "Ma, are you all right?" James, her oldest son, asked. She turned her head to look at him, but all she saw on his face was concern. For how long had she been standing there, staring at her husband? She had no idea. Too much in thought with her recent finding. "Yes." Her voice was hoarse. She almost didn't recognize it, as the emotion in it was heavy. James gave her an empathetic look before engulfing her in a hug, making her completely turn away from the coffin. James had always been the kindest of all her children, a very considerate boy ever since a young age, yet his next words startled her. "I'm sorry, Ma," he said, his voice now also filled with emotion as he spoke. Marianne immediately started racking her brain. What could he possibly be sorry for? Had he seen what she had found? Had he been the one to put it there? Too many questions started to circle around in her head. What was James saying sorry for? Marianne pulled away from the hug, searching his eyes. "Honey, what are you sorry for?" She asked him gently, placing a hand on his cheek. James looked positively distraught. She had known him his entire life and noticed something that resembled guilt. Then he said something that brought even more tears to her eyes. "I should have been there more for you and Dad. Ever since he got sick, everything went by so fast. I should have brought you more to the hospital. It is my fault that you didn't have more time with him." "I'm so sorry," James said, as Marianne could feel tears welling up in her eyes once more. "It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Jamie," Marianne started, saying James's nickname. "It kind of is mine. I never got my driver's license to begin with. I became reliant on all of you. Please don't blame yourself because I couldn't see him every hour of every day while he was in the hospital. That isn't your burden to bear." She couldn't help but feel for her son. The fact that James blamed himself for her missing precious moments with her now-deceased husband pained Marianne. She couldn't believe that she allowed herself to suspect James of this. the fact that she allowed herself to suspect any of her children to begin with. She had to uncover an explanation of all this. She gave her husband a final look, putting the thing in her pocket for her to examine later, and grabbed her children. They needed her attention first, and she wouldn't let them worry. After they also said their final goodbyes to their father and grandfather, she pulled them all into a hug. When they had all calmed down, they could possibly help her uncover this mystery. Marianne and her children and grandchildren were the last ones to leave the church. The other guests, who had given their goodbyes before the tight-knit family, waited inside the tea room for the repast, where light snacks, coffee, tea, and other drinks were served. Maybe Marianne could potentially suss people out who were staying. It was a place to reminisce about the recently departed after all. In the subdued ambiance of the repast, Marianne, surrounded by murmuring guests, covertly slid the crumpled note from her pocket. Her fingers trembled as she unfolded it, revealing scrawled, uneven handwriting. The words, though few, felt heavy with meaning, drawing her into a vortex of mystery she hadn't anticipated. As she scanned the note, a surge of determination mingled with her grief. Marianne's eyes fixated on the note's cryptic message. "Sorry, Chris, left it at our secret place." The words seemed to dance before her, each one a puzzle piece in a game she never agreed to play. What was this secret place? A location? A metaphor? Her mind whirled with questions, the secret place echoing in her thoughts, a phrase both foreign and oddly familiar. As she pondered, Marianne couldn't help but wonder about the depths of Christopher's life that remained unknown to her. Were there aspects, layers, and secrets she had never seen? The note in her hand was a tangible piece of a puzzle, a silent whisper from Christopher's world that she had never heard. It was a gateway to a part of him she had yet to discover. With a resolute breath, Marianne tucked the note back into her pocket. She knew that her journey to unravel this mystery had just begun. This note was not just a piece of paper. It was a key, possibly to a hidden chamber in Christopher's life that she had never entered. Marianne felt a resolve igniting within her, a need to uncover the truth, whatever it may be. Marianne's mind drifted to her memories with Christopher. She sifted through recollections of their years together, seeking any mention, any hint of this enigmatic, secret place. Had he ever spoken of it? Alluded to it? Each memory was a potential clue, a possible lead to understanding the cryptic message that now lay heavy in her heart. Marianne's gaze drifted across the room, observing the repast guests with a new, discerning eye. Each laugh, each whisper, each lingering glance now seemed like a potential clue. She watched, her eyes subtly scanning the crowd, trying to detect any sign of recognition or guilt that might betray a connection to the mysterious note. In every face, she sought an answer, an understanding that seemed just out of reach. Her attention turned to Christopher's inner circle, the ones who knew him best. Marianne studied their expressions, their mannerisms, wondering if any harbored secrets. Were these friends and colleagues simply mourning, or did their grief mask deeper knowledge? Each interaction, each condolence held potential significance, and Marianne found herself questioning the nature of their relationships with her late husband. A seed of doubt began to sprout in Marianne's heart. She contemplated the unsettling possibility that Christopher's life had layers she had never seen. Could he have had secrets? Her trust, once unshakable, now wavered as she considered the hidden facets of the man she had loved. The note, a silent sentinel of these doubts, weighed heavily in her pocket. Amid the soft clinking of cups and the low hum of conversations, Marianne tuned her ears to the whispers around her. She hoped to catch a stray word, a fragment of a sentence that might allude to the note's cryptic message. Each snippet of dialogue, each hushed exchange, became a potential lead in her quest for the truth, a breadcrumb on the trail to understanding. A subtle tension permeated the air, mingling with the aroma of tea and sympathy. Marianne felt it, a palpable unease that seemed to underscore her own suspicions. The repass, a gathering of remembrance, now felt like a stage where secrets played their silent roles. Her resolve to uncover the truth about the note and its implications about Christopher's life grew with every passing moment. Among the mourners, Marianne's attention was drawn to an old friend of Christopher's, a man who seemed lost in his own world of anxiety. Unlike the others, who shared memories and comfort, he stood apart, his eyes clouded with an unspoken worry. His presence was like a shadow at the edge of the light, noticeable in its difference, stirring Marianne's curiosity about his withdrawn demeanor. Marianne observed him discreetly, noting how he skillfully avoided conversations about Christopher. Whenever their late friend's name surfaced, he subtly steered the conversation elsewhere, or simply excused himself. This avoidance was a stark contrast to others' open expressions of grief and remembrance. It was an anomaly that did not escape Marianne's keen eye, adding a layer of mystery to the already puzzling situation. The man's elusive behavior led Marianne to question his relationship with Christopher. Was his anxiety merely grief, or did it mask a deeper connection to the cryptic note? The possibility that he might hold a piece of this perplexing puzzle intrigued her. His every action, every avoidance, seemed to whisper of hidden agendas, of truths untold, and secrets closely guarded. Marianne contemplated approaching him, seeking answers. Yet she hesitated. The fear of what those answers might reveal held her back. What if her inquiries unearthed truths she was not prepared for? What if this friend's avoidance was a sign of something more profound, something that could shatter her already fragile understanding of Christopher's life? The more Marianne watched him, the more intrigued she became. His demeanor was a riddle, each movement and glance a clue that beckoned her curiosity. As the mystery of Christopher's past deepened, so did her determination to understand it. This friend, with his peculiar behavior, seemed increasingly like a key figure in the enigmatic tapestry of Christopher's hidden life. In the quiet of the night, Marianne lay in her bed, the darkness around her echoing with the phrase, "secret place." It swirled in her mind, a haunting melody of unsolved mystery. The stillness of the room was a stark contrast to the turmoil in her thoughts. Sleep eluded her as she replayed the day's events, the note's words etching themselves deeper into her consciousness. Her mind wandered through the corridors of memory, recalling instances when Christopher had spoken of a special place. He had mentioned it in passing, his voice always tinged with a fond, secretive smile. But he never elaborated, and she had never pressed. Now, those overlooked moments came back to her, filled with new significance and a yearning for answers. Marianne's thoughts drifted to another discovery she had made at the funeral, something she had hastily pocketed and hadn't yet fully examined. Could there be a connection between this item and the note? The possibility intrigued her, igniting a spark of hope that this could be the key to unraveling the mystery surrounding Christopher's secret place. Lying in the darkness, Marianne's resolve solidified. She decided to investigate the second item she had found in Christopher's coffin. Perhaps it held the answers. Perhaps it would lead her to the secret place mentioned in the note. With a determined breath, she knew what she had to do next. The path to understanding lay ahead, and she was ready to walk it. As the night deepened, Marianne lay still, her mind alive with possibilities. The note, with its cryptic message, and the second item, still shrouded in mystery, seemed to hold the keys to a part of Christopher's life she had never known. She pondered their potential significance, each a piece of a puzzle she was slowly piecing together. The night held revelations, and she was at the cusp of uncovering them. In the quiet of her room, Marianne's thoughts turned to the funeral. particularly the moment she discovered the vintage key. It lay in Christopher's hand, a silent sentinel to a secret world, paired with the enigmatic note. The image was vivid in her memory, the key's cold metal against Christopher's still skin, a stark reminder of the mysteries he had left behind. The key, ornate and old, seemed to whisper tales of hidden doors and lost stories. Marianne held it in her hand, feeling its weight and wondering about its role in the puzzle of Christopher's secret place. Its intricate design suggested a history, a specific purpose. Could this key be the link to the place mentioned in the note? She wondered. Marianne examined the key under the dim light, tracing its elaborate patterns with her fingers. Its design felt timeless, bridging the past and the present. She pondered its origin and significance in Christopher's life. What secrets did this key guard? What stories had it witnessed? The key was a tangible connection to a part of Christopher she had yet to understand. Her mind buzzed with speculation. This key, she thought, might be more than a mere object. It could be a guide, leading her to the truths Christopher had concealed. Perhaps it was meant to unlock not just a physical space, but also the secrets of his life. Marianne felt a mix of apprehension and excitement at the prospect of where this key might lead her. With a newfound resolve, Marianne decided to follow the path the key suggested. It was a clue, a beacon in the shadowy realm of her husband's unknown life. She felt compelled to pursue it, to uncover the reality it guarded. The journey ahead promised revelations and possibly a deeper connection to Christopher. She was ready to discover the truth, wherever it might lead. Marianne ventured to a place she had long associated with Christopher's whispered mentions of a secret place. Her heart was full of hope as she tried the key in every lock she could find, but none yielded. Each failed attempt was like a closing door, a silent denial that left her feeling a growing sense of frustration. The key, once a symbol of hope, now felt like a mocking reminder of her uncertainty. In the quiet aftermath of her unsuccessful search, Marianne sat contemplating the key in her hand. The realization dawned on her that perhaps she had been chasing shadows, misinterpreting Christopher's references to the secret place. Her initial assumptions, once so convincing, now seemed like distant echoes of a path that led nowhere. The disappointment was a heavy cloak, wrapping her thoughts in doubt. Despite the setback, a resilient spark within Marianne refused to be extinguished. She recognized the doubts clouding her mind, yet beneath them lay a bedrock of determination. Christopher's secrets were still out there, waiting to be uncovered. Her resolve, tested by these challenges, grew stronger. Marianne knew she couldn't give up, not when the truth about her husband's life was still hidden in the shadows. Amidst her reflections, Marianne felt a renewed sense of purpose. She decided to broaden her search, stepping beyond the confines of her initial assumptions about Christopher's secret. It was time to look at his life through a wider lens, to explore possibilities she hadn't considered before. With this expanded perspective, she was ready to delve deeper into the mystery, her resolve stronger than ever. Marianne embarked on a subtle quest, engaging Christopher's friends and family in casual conversation. She skillfully steered discussions towards places Christopher held dear, careful not to reveal her burning quest for the truth. Each interaction was a delicate dance of words, as she probed for information while maintaining the facade of a widow, fondly reminiscing about her husband. Every conversation, every shared memory, added a small piece to the intricate puzzle of Christopher's life. Marianne listened intently, mentally noting any reference to places or events that could be significant. These fragments of information, though seemingly trivial, slowly began to form a clearer picture. With each new piece, the outline of Christopher's hidden world became more defined. In her search for clues, Marianne revisited her own memories with Christopher. She recalled their conversations, their trips, their quiet moments together. She searched through these recollections for any mention or hint of a special place, a location that held meaning. Each memory was like a book to be opened again, its pages possibly holding the key to unlocking the secret place Christopher had mentioned. As she delved deeper into her memories, Marianne began to realize that the truth might have been right before her eyes all along. Perhaps the secret place was not a physical location, but something more abstract, woven into the fabric of their life together. This revelation shifted her perspective, opening her eyes to the possibility that the answers she sought were hidden in plain sight within their shared experiences. Her conversations with those who knew Christopher best brought new insights and perspectives. Each story, each recollection, painted a different shade of the man she thought she knew. But with these insights came more questions, deepening the mystery of his secret life. Marianne was determined to unravel these threads, convinced that they would lead her to the truth of Christopher's hidden world. During a heartfelt conversation, a longtime friend of Christopher casually mentioned a place Christopher often escaped to years ago. The mention of this location, previously unknown to Marianne, instantly piqued her curiosity. It was a clue, unexpected yet potentially significant, a whisper from the past that beckoned her closer to the truth she so desperately sought. Armed with this new information, Marianne found herself drawn to this mysterious place, a location that had been part of Christopher's life, yet remained a secret to her. Her heart was a mix of hope and trepidation as she contemplated what she might discover there. It was uncharted territory in their shared life, a hidden chapter in the book of Christopher's existence. As she prepared to explore this newfound location, Marianne couldn't shake off the shadows of doubt creeping into her mind. What if this place revealed a side of Christopher she never knew? The possibility of an affair, a hidden life, or a secret too heavy to bear loomed over her. Each possibility was a dark cloud overshadowing her quest for the truth. Despite the daunting possibilities, Marianne's determination to uncover the truth about her husband's secret life was unwavering. She gathered her resolve, ready to face whatever lay ahead. This journey to the unknown was not just a physical trip to a new location, but a deep dive into the hidden depths of Christopher's life, a path she was committed to follow. As Marianne approached the location, her heart raced with a mixture of anticipation and apprehension. She was on the brink of a discovery that could redefine everything she knew about Christopher. Each step brought her closer to the potential unveiling of his secrets. With a deep breath, she steeled herself, ready to face whatever truths lay hidden in this place he had kept from her. Marianne's journey led her to a secluded cabin, nestled away in a forgotten corner of the woods. This was the secret place Christopher had kept hidden, a private retreat unknown to her. The cabin, cloaked in silence, seemed to hold its breath as she stepped inside, crossing the threshold into a part of her husband's life that had remained a mystery until now. Inside the cabin, Marianne discovered a door, old and unassuming, yet firmly locked. Her heart pounding with anticipation, she retrieved the vintage key from her pocket. With a turn of the key, the lock clicked open, as if yielding to her persistent quest. This was more than just opening a door. It was unlocking the past, a gateway to the secrets Christopher had kept. The room beyond the door revealed itself to be a study, a personal sanctuary where Christopher had perhaps spent countless hours. The walls were lined with bookshelves, and the desk was cluttered with papers and various personal items. Marianne's eyes scanned the room, each object a piece of the puzzle, each document a potential clue to understanding the hidden aspects of her husband's life. As Marianne delved deeper into the study's contents, she was startled by the sudden appearance of Christopher's old friend, the same one who had been acting anxiously at the repass. His unexpected presence in this private space sent a jolt of surprise through her, transforming the quiet room into a stage of unfolding drama. His arrival was as mysterious as it was timely. The air was thick with tension as Marianne faced the friend, her eyes demanding the truth. Questions bubbled to the surface, each one laden with the weight of her discoveries and suspicions. This was a moment of confrontation, an intersection of past secrets and present revelations. Marianne's voice, firm yet quivering with emotion, broke the silence. "Why are you here? What do you know about this place?" The friend, his face etched with emotion, finally broke his silence. He confessed that he had been entrusted with a significant responsibility by Christopher, to safeguard a profound secret. This revelation, spoken in a voice laced with a mix of relief and sorrow, opened the door to a deeper understanding of Christopher's clandestine actions and the weight they had carried. Christopher's secret, as revealed by his friend, was a testament to his hidden depth of character. He had been quietly and anonymously supporting a struggling community or individual, a selfless act of kindness that he chose to keep away from the limelight. This altruistic side of Christopher, unknown even to Marianne, painted a picture of a man deeply committed to making a difference without seeking recognition. The friend explained his decision to place the note and key in Christopher's coffin as a symbolic gesture. It was meant to honor Christopher's desire to take his secret to the grave, a final act of respect to his wish for anonymity. This act, though well-intentioned, had inadvertently set Marianne on her journey to uncover the truth, a path filled with unexpected discoveries. Learning of Christopher's clandestine philanthropy deeply moved Marianne. She felt a newfound connection with the man she thought she knew completely. Inspired by his quiet generosity, she resolved to continue his legacy in her own way. This decision marked the beginning of a new chapter for Marianne, one where she would honor Christopher's memory by upholding the values he had cherished in secret. In the wake of these revelations, Marianne chose to honor Christopher's legacy by keeping his charitable deeds a secret. This decision to preserve the purity and selflessness of his actions was her way of respecting his wishes. In doing so, she embraced the essence of his kindness, ensuring that his acts of benevolence remained a silent testament to the depth of his character.